Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Downtoearthastronomy. Today we are looking at trading, and I'm going to give you guys some of the small tips on how to find a good trading route and some other useful hints that I picked up along the way, how to really maximize your profit when you're trading. One of the most important parts of trading is of course getting the right ship. Again, I'm fairly new to the game, haven't played this game for too long, and I decided to go for a Type 6 transporter. If we go in here to the shipyard, find the Type 6 transporter, we can see they have lots of internal compartments. And of course, we can use all these internal compartments to fit cargo bays for maximizing the cargo bay, and then we're able to shift more items at each move when we move back and forth between stations. As a rule of thumb, each time you go up one size category, an internal compartment can hold twice as much. So, for instance here, these two size 4 compartments can hold the same amount of cargo as a size 5 compartment. So this is just an easy way to compare the ships when you're looking at what to buy. Another ship you could use early on if you don't feel like spending a million on a hauler. You can spend 300,000 or take your mining Cobra, and as you see, decent internal compartment, 3 size 4 compartments, it's not too bad. You can use this for trading as well, early game if you want to. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the trade routes, and we're going to open up the galaxy map. And here's what I did. You go to the view tab here and click map. And up here you can say show by color. Normally I think this is set to maybe alliance, but you could set it to economy. And what we're looking for is a high-tech system. When we click high-tech, you can begin to see blue dots appear. And we simply want to go to one of these high-tech systems. Another good idea could be to filter out the low population ones, so you only get to systems with a decent high population. And once you've found your high-tech system, this is a good base point for trading, and I'll show you why. We'll go back in here and let's open up the commodity market. For instance, in these high-tech systems, you will often find that stuff like consumer electronics. And what else? I found these resonating separators to be pretty good as well. You can see we have a high demand, we have a high supply, lots of them available. Same with the consumer electronics. Consumer electronics are really dirt cheap in these systems. And again, we have a high or medium demand for most metals and minerals. So moving metals and minerals into these systems would be good, and then finding some place where we can ship out, for instance, consumer electronics. Such a system could be a system with a extraction or refinery. For instance, I normally use, see if I can find it. Just go ahead and search for it. Yeah, navigation. There it is. If we mouse over, or do I still have population? Yeah, still have the population on. Let's remove that. There we go. They're often more low populated, these systems, and again the population is not that important here, but again we can see here economy, extraction, refinery. But if we plot a route, we can see that this is quite a long distance away. It's quite a few jumps. There are closer systems, but I found this one to be one of the best. But we can actually minimize or reduce the number of jumps we're doing. This was a quite neat trick. If we go to navigation, we can see right now jump data is set to economical route. You see, it's taking the most economical route to the destination. If we instead change it to fastest route, and you can see all the lines change, and we again go ahead and replot the route, we can see that now we went from having several jumps, now this is just 2 jumps away. Of course, this is set with a empty cargo hold, so if we fill our cargo hold using this slider, and then recalculate the route. Oh, hold on. Like so. Recalculate the route. We can see this changes to a 3 jump route. I think 3 jumps is pretty okay. Remember that jumping between systems doesn't take too long when you are in Super Cruise already. What really takes a long time is to get to the actual station, because you always drop out at the largest center, or the largest body of mass, often being the star, or one of the stars. So when selecting a system, make sure to select a system where the stations you are trading from are fairly close to the largest body of mass. I would say I normally try to keep it below 500 light seconds. Someone likes to go up to 1,000. Really depends. If you have a really good trading route and it is a bit over 500 the way, you can of course use that. But I like to keep the stations below 500 light seconds. This ensures that when I actually enter the system, I don't have to fly for too long to actually get to the station, because time is money. This is really about just getting as much money in as short as amount of time, so we don't want to spend time flying between systems. So this is a neat way. You can see we reduced this to just 3 jumps. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and this is going to be apparent later why this is a good idea, but what I have done is we open up the commodity market, and you're gonna make a spreadsheet. Open up Open Office, the Microsoft Office, Excel, whatever you got. Make a spreadsheet, and I know this is gonna take a long time for some of you. You can find template spreadsheets on the internet, I'm sure, but simply take a spreadsheet, write down all these categories and all the material being sold here, and write down the prices. These prices are going to change as we begin to trade, but just as an indication of what price range are we looking at. So write down all these prices. I've already done that for the systems that I like to use when I'm trading, and it will become apparent why this is a very good idea later on. Because what we can also do to optimize our trade is to go into to the bulletin board. Normally, we're looking at a good commodity to trade. You would make around 1,000 credit profit per item. And in my ship, I can have 96 tons of equipment. And if I make just over 1,000 credit, I can make almost 100 grand each trip. And if I do that both ways, that means that the return trip would yield me around 200,000 credits. And if a return trip takes, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 minutes, if I'm slow, well, it's a decent profit hour, I think. But we can increase our yield by going into the bulletin board. In here you will often find trade missions. So for instance, you have this trade mission here, where they are looking for 4 units of fish, and they're going to pay us 27,000 credits. So we could open up our spreadsheet. We already found the other system. We went to that system and we wrote down the market data for that system. I would then go into the spreadsheet and I would look up the system and I would find fish, which is under food. Let me just look it up here. And in the specific system I'm trading with, they do not sell fish. So this contract, we will probably have to decline that. Let's look further down. The osmium, the system doesn't trade osmium as well. So we can find anything. This is good, probably. No. Okay, here we go. Mineral oil. No, this is not being sold. Oh, we're really unlucky with the contract right now. Stolen. I normally don't go for the legal contracts. You can of course do that. Fruit and vegetables, is that the same thing? Yeah, not being sold either. We're really unlucky with the contract right now. trade out mission. That was the fish mission. Okay, so apparently there are no no missions at the moment that we can use, but let's just go down to this mission. This is these mining missions. You often see these mining missions. In this case, they want painite. Unfortunately, the system we're trading in does not sell painite, but let's just say this was some other commodity. This could be any other material. Often you can find them with palladium. They often require palladium, and we would simply accept a contract like this and buy the palladium instead of going out mining it. Just buy the palladium once you're in the other system, haul it back here, and hand in the contract. For instance, let's say we could buy the painite in the other system. We would probably have to pay around 35,000 credits per unit, meaning we would pay a little over 100 grand for these 3 units of painite, if we could actually buy it. Unfortunately, we can't. And the reward, we see that's 265,000 credits, meaning that with just these 3 units, just 3 tons in your cargo hold, you're making a profit of over 100,000. That's more than the rest of your cargo hold. And the same goes with many of these other missions. If we just find the fish mission again, if we could find a system that actually sold fish, we would be able to buy it at, let's say, 600 credits. That's a decent price for fish, I guess, with 1 ton of fish. So we will have to use 2,400 credits to buy these fish, and we would make a total profit of around 25,000 credits, and again only using 4 units of cargo space. So as soon as your profit per cargo space is larger than the around 1,000 credits you're getting for the normal trade commodities, you should definitely go for these contracts. But unfortunately, we do not have any contracts at the moment. So we're just going to go into the commodity market, and then we're going to look at our spreadsheet, and we're going to find the item with the largest difference between the 2 items. For instance, I've already been there, and I know that in this the other system that I'm trading, I can sell consumer technology for 7,300. So I'm almost getting 1,000 credits per item. So we're just gonna go ahead and fill up our cargo hold here, like so. Then we're gonna make sure that the route is plotted. It is, and we're just going to launch and fly to the system. Okay, here we are coming in for landing. See if I can do this. I'm really bad at this. Oh. See, I told you guys, suck at this. Okay, anyway, we made it. So first thing we're gonna do, gonna refuel, of course. And we're going in and looking at the commodity here. So the profit was a bit lower than expected. Prices has dropped since last time I was here. So the profit wasn't that great this run, and we'll have to update the prices and find some other item. But normally you'll be able to make around 100 grand each trip. So let's just go ahead and sell that, and look at the bulletin board, see if we're more lucky this time. Hopefully we are. And again, we're going to use our spreadsheet to see what items are available to us in the other system. So that doesn't look like there's any decent contract right now. So we're just gonna go ahead, go to the commodity market, and I know one of the items that I make the most money on right now is palladium. Just really quickly going to check the prices on my spreadsheet, see that they still fit. Yeah, palladium, yeah, prices are still the same. So let's just go ahead and buy a full cargo hold of palladium. And again, just to cancel that, if for instance fish here has been available, we could buy it. We would have accepted the other contract. And the same if we saw that mining contract, so if we were able to buy paynite, we would also just buy it here at the system. Unfortunately we're not, so we couldn't accept these contracts. So we're just gonna have to go with simply just buying a full cargo hold of palladium.
Cargo hold at
and
maximum
then
capacity.
Set, just as you would normally do, go into the galaxy map, find the system that we're going to. Should be here, I think. No, here? Yeah, there we go. Plot a route and ensure that we have the right jump data settings, and then we can just launch and go back. Okay, here we are. We are back at our first station, and we're gonna go into the commodity market, and hopefully we'll make a bit more profit this time. See, 1100 credits per unit, so this is gonna be quite profitable. And we'll see we end up with a profit from this run just over 100,000 grand, which is not bad. And we go through the whole thing again. We look through the Bulletin board contracts, see if there's anything better this time. Again, we have the paid night. And you simply just keep doing this. From what I found, normally, even though now I've been very unlucky with the contracts, but normally you will make, I think, half your profit from these bulletin board contracts. So that's why it really is worth your time to write down that spreadsheet, write down what materials are available. That way you know when you look at a contract, you can simply look in your spreadsheet, you can have it printed out in front of you, or you can have it on a screen next to you, depending on if you're running one or two screens. If you're running this in with VI glasses, this might be a bit more difficult to have to take them on and off all the time. But point still stands. I think it's a good investment of time to write this down, make a spreadsheet, or just make it on a piece of paper what items are available to be brought in the two ends of your trading route, so that you can look at the contracts, because again, these are going to make you a huge profit. I mean, if we're lucky just to get one of these contracts, you see we can easily make 100 grand additional from that one run. This is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for further videos. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, this is Down to Earth Astronomy. Have a good one.